Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Righto, all you good dude and dudettes, it's that time for another amazing episode of Send It Mate podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Caleb.
Oh,
And I'm Couchy.
he jumped in. He pulled the trigger a bit too quick.
Got a knee spot.
That's usually your trick, mate. All good. Well, we're back again, and it's time for another special guest.
It is.
Are we excited?
I am, and the person that we have on tonight is very, very intriguing.
For multiple reasons.
Yes. Yeah. It's a three-pronged approach.
It's going to be a podcast not to miss. That's what I think.
Definitely.
So, yes.
Definitely.
Excellent. So, yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be a good one tonight. We're excited. So, we should probably introduce her.
We should.
You may know her from Instagram if you are a hunter or an outdoors person. Kadeja Assaad, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
No problems at all.
Our pleasure.
I mean, we're excited to have a chat to you tonight, and we're brimming with questions. So, how was your day, firstly? We should probably find out.
It was great. Got up in the morning, went to work. I've got both my daughters working under my wings, and it's been a great day today.
Well, that's what all you can hope for, isn't it? You just mentioned before we started that you also start quite early in the morning, and you're still up. I don't know how you do it.
I have to.
Are you a morning person?
Yes, I am. I wake up with a smile, and I'm good to go straight away.
See, I can't do that. I take about an hour to warm up.
That's a special kind of person, I reckon.
Yes.
That is.
A cup of coffee, and I'm smiling all day.
Perfect. Well, we like that. We like the can-do attitude. And what say we get to know our guests tonight, guys, and get into the questions straight away, get the conversation flowing. First one, Kadz. Where are you from?
I'm from Camden, but originally from Bankstown. And heritage is Lebanese, but I was born and raised in Australia.
Oh, very
Okay,
good.
nice.
So your parents were the ones to immigrate over here?
Yes. So my mum came when she was about, I think, 7.
Mhm.
And she went to primary and high school, and she's like a diehard Aussie. But then my father came when he was about 17. Yeah.
Oh, very good. What brought them over here? Was it just the situation in Lebanon at the time?
I guess so. So my grandfather came when it was the civil war in Lebanon. And and he came, started working, and then he brought his family here, and that's how it happened. So they kept bringing everybody in bit by bit, and yeah, they built a huge community.
We like it. Very good. So you've always been in New South Wales, born and raised?
Most of my life I've been in New South Wales, and we had a house in Leppington, which was a vegetable farm, and we grew up in Chester Hill of Sydney.
Yeah, these places are completely foreign to us. I'm sitting there trying to think Chesterfield.
Yeah, I mean, I know Bankstown and Camden, so we sort of know where you're from. So
Roughly.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Oh, very
Cool.
good. All right, let's get into the next question. What's your favourite food?
Oh, you might not know it. It's a Lebanese dish. It's raw meat, and it's called kibinaya.
Cabina, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Did you say raw meat?
You might have seen. Yeah, it is raw meat, which is minced into like a pate in a way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've had
and
some.
then add all those herbs. And, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think I've heard you mention this actually.
Yeah, I've tried it, and it's actually quite nice. It's surprising because most Australians, I guess, would eat cooked meat, but not raw meat. But yeah, it is very nice actually.
It's confronting when you're telling someone else about it, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, people are like, yeah, not for me. But that's all right.
I mean, there's steak tartare. That's a thing. That's raw meat.
That is.
Okay.
What sort of meat is generally in that dish? Like, is it just a beef or?
So it's usually lamb, and mostly from tenderloins or the softest part of the lamb, and it's minced over and over again until it becomes really sticky.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you got like spices and herbs and all like onions and capsicum all minced into it, and then you add cracked Darnum wheat.
Darnum wheat.
Another kind of flavour in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I thought she said dynamite for a second. Gives it a pep in
That's
your
another
step.
story.
Okay. Well, let's keep the questions rolling. Kadz, what was your first job?
Okay, let's start. On the farm, the family farm.
And that was a vegetable farm,
So-
correct? Or?
Yeah, vegetable farm. We had some goats on there and here and there. My mum would like milk them, makes her like yogurt and cheese and everything you think of. Like my mum taught me how to do all those, cheeses and yogurts and all the pickling from the farm. And yeah, that was my first job with the family. But then I went ahead and did like beautician and hairdressing and worked in the auto industry. I can fix a car from
nice.
scratch.
Yeah, wow. That's a bit of a 180 farm to beautician back to a physical job and then doing what you're doing now. That's a big 180.
Before that, I'm an award-winning events coordinator and award-winning cake stylist baker.
Oh, wow. You sound like you'd be pretty independent for most things in your life, really.
It's probably handy.
Childcare teacher for about 4 to 5 years and taught language studies.
Yeah, well,
That's quite the resume.
It makes you reassess your life.
it does. It does.
Well, this is an interesting one then because you've done so many things, but if you could trade places with anyone in the world, who would that be?
Ooh, no one? I'm content.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with what I'm doing, and I've gone back to my roots in a way, working in the bush. It's very similar to the farming days, just being outside in nature and making a difference. And I would happily retire doing this.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm really content with what I'm doing.
You say going back to the bush. I've noticed on your Instagram you've got a little shack
Yes.
out in the scrub.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks absolutely stunning and quite picturesque. What area? We won't ask you where it is, but what area is it?
So it's inland upper north of New South Wales.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Is that where you hunt as well?
I do.
Yep.
But mostly I go there to relax, and then I'll go for a hike with the rifle. Sometimes I see the pigs running off and I just like to look at them. I know it's bad.
No, that's how hunters are really. It's not always about shooting something. Sometimes just enjoying the beauty and relaxing atmosphere of what the nature has to offer.
Exactly.
How long have you had the shack for?
Coming into 4 years.
Okay, nice.
So the property 4 years, and then the little cabin for about 2 years or so. Something like that.
So it's still relatively new for you.
Yeah.
Did you build it yourself?
So I had help from family, but the next building project, it will be me and my son doing it. So my son and I will build a little shed to put all the tools in there, get that sorted.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's your next project?
Yes.
What about if you could trade places just for a day with anybody? So, I mean, not for a permanent change. What if it was just for a day? Just to experience what their life's like?
That's going to be a difficult one to say. I know it's going to be a bit difficult and funny, but with a happy child.
Oh, that's
deep. Yeah, that's very deep.
That is. But I guess if you think about it, they have a very different lens through which they see the world.
Yes, they do. And I don't know, growing up, we grew up in a very strict household, and I had to grow up before my age, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
And I just up and rewind and be a child like any other child these days, and just, get to choose things differently to the way I wanted things to be, not, the way I was told to get things done.
Mm-hmm. You're the oldest of 7, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so, I mean, especially when you're the oldest, I'm the oldest of 6. So, as the oldest, you sort of have this extra level of responsibility. Plus, you're the test child for everything because it's.
Oh, you got to be good all the time.
Exactly. So you have that extra bit of responsibility growing up, which the younger ones don't tend to realise as much, and the youngest just gets it the easiest, I reckon.
They do. They definitely do.
I do have a question. You're obviously brought up Muslim. In Australia then. Was that difficult? Was that challenging? Obviously, like most people could see that it would have been quite challenging, especially at school, seeing obviously people, in their older teens, they go off and do things that obviously is not right, and you're not allowed to, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very strict. How am I going to say that? So I never got to do what my friends did at school. From home to school, didn't, get to do the sleepovers or go out shops with the friends, or I allow my kids to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to express who they want to be and how they want to live their life in a respectful manner, of course. Yeah, so being a modest Muslim, you had to behave in a certain way and, portray who I am as a Muslim, obeying as well your father by listening and, doing everything as you're told to do. That also can restrict you from being who you want to be. I love my father to death. I appreciate everything he's given me in life and what he's taught me, and it's made me who I am today as well. But I also wish I had a little bit of freedom to express.
Understandable.
Yeah. And it was a bit hard because I've had my scarf on since I was 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was a child back then, so I didn't really understand. So I got mocked at school or, bullied because of it. And I would cry and I didn't understand why. I felt like I was the same as everybody else, but they made me, aware that I was different. You know,
Yeah.
kids don't know. You know, they're innocent kids. They wouldn't know any other. You know, like they're brought up differently. They don't come from the same background, so they wouldn't know. So I never blamed the kids.
Yeah, it's foreign, and children can be brutal because of their ignorance.
Yeah, they wouldn't know. I had to build kind of this protection thing around me. You know, I was always like trying to avoid any conflicts, or if someone pulled my scarf off, I'll just run off and just hide and cry.
Yeah. Did you hunt back then?
So my dad used to take us nearly every weekend fishing, like most of our lives. We were hiking, fishing. He never took us hunting when we were younger. I'm not sure. I think it was just more of a cultural thing. You know, the girls really didn't go hunting. As we got older and as he was teaching us through our hikes how to find the deer and showed us all the hoof prints and, you know, the droppings and the directions where the deer were going, you know, and that was all like through the national park. When we used to go fishing, he'll take us on a hike and he'll tell us you can't hunt here, but this is like, these are the signs and this is how you find the animal. And that stuck with me. I never forgot about it. And till this day, I use those same methods and it works. But as I got older, we were on the farm, you know, back when we were a bit young, it was a bit legal to shoot birds and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And we would, like, he would shoot and we would go collect it for him. And we would watch my mom, like, you know, remove all the feathers and gut the birds and cook it and prepare it all. And I just grew a love for hunting and the purpose behind it. You know, bring back the meat home. And even when he brought, you know, the red meat home, you know, our freezer was full. All his friends were all like, you know, share the meat. And it was exciting to see. Every time he came back from a hunt, he brought gifts.
Yeah.
That was even fun.
It's amazing how food, because essentially that's what it is. Food brings an entire community together, or a family, or and it's amazing the feeling. I can share with you the feeling that you would have had seeing that growing up, and it creates a bond that's unbreakable between family and friends. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a special experience for sure.
I just wanted to just jump in with a question here because it sort of suits. I chucked up a Instagram sort of story just asking people what they wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
And this is one of them, just sort of suits. So Dylan Fly 92, how does hunting fit in with your religion, halal, etc., and what makes meat halal meat?
Okay, so the meaning of halal means the most less endured fear and pain towards the animal. Like, you can't really put the animal through agony. And when I explain that with pigging, you know, with the dogs, can't do that. A lot of Muslims do it, but it goes against all our beliefs. We cannot put the animal through suffering and fear.
Okay.
That becomes completely not halal. And also for the meat to be halal, it has to be drained from the blood as well. So we can't really eat the meat that's, you know, full of blood because it's not healthy for us as humans. That's the only reason. Yeah.
Okay.
And then before I shoot as well, I say a small prayer which consists of a blessing, like the same blessing as we say when we're eating at the table. Thank you, God. That's also in Arabic. You can say it in English as well. Thank you, God, for this blessing. You are the most merciful and kind. And off I shoot.
Okay. How many times have you prayed before shooting and then obviously in that process you've sort of missed the chance? Yeah.
Okay. I know, like, there's a lot of certain sects in Islam, because there's like Christianity, there's different sects, like different groups and beliefs. Yep. And it's the same with the Islam religion as well. And there's different groups that do halal hunting differently. Some, which I don't agree with, will injure the animal and then go and slaughter it. But this goes completely against what we're told, and it's putting an animal through pain and suffering.
Yeah.
So I practice before I go on a hunt, making sure that my first shot is a kill shot. If I have to go for a second shot, it's just to drop it.
It makes sense.
I can see. I think Couchy was meaning like when you've seen the animal, you're laying behind the rifle, and you say your prayer, and then you look back up.
Yeah.
How many times has the animal beaten you and sort of like scooted off?
Oh, many times. Why?
That would get frustrating, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
But yeah, no, it happened a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, while I'm saying that, it's a quick prayer. Like it takes a few seconds. The animal would slightly move, or something else will appear from behind, and I won't shoot.
I guess that could go both ways, because in that like moment that you're saying the prayer, a big old stag could walk out, and you'd be like, "Oh, that's a better one."
Just adds that extra level of complexity. But yeah, I like that. That's cool. I guess that means you'll be practicing your skill or honing the skill as a shooter, so that you are, humanely and ethically putting that animal down straight away. So that's admirable.
It seems like the rifle would be the best way for a halal meat to be killed humanely, I guess.
Yeah, it is, definitely. And also when we so on religious celebrations, we do end up slaughtering like lamb or goats, and we don't usually slaughter the goat or the sheep or lamb in front of another animal, because we believe that other animals understand what's happening, and we don't want to put them through that suffering as well while watching a fellow lamb get slaughtered.
Yeah.
So yeah, we move them from that, but it's different during hunting.
You can see that in the abattoirs actually. Obviously, the animals are all confined, and they're obviously making noise, and they're lined up, and it doesn't take much to see what's happening in front of you. And I'm pretty sure they can be like, "Oh, there's danger ahead," but
100% they know what's sort of going on. Maybe not the exact thing, but they understand life and death.
But the animals that are watching, their behavior changes.
yeah.
And I noticed that, like, before I never noticed anything, but until I actually sat there watching someone else slaughtering, and they've done it in front of another lamb, and the behavior completely changed. They went into a sort of like a panic mode. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay.
I think that also releases adrenaline into the system, which can taint, for a lack of a better word, the meat itself and the flavour. Most definitely, I've noticed that between wild game and store-bought meat.
While we're sort of down this digression, and we're learning a lot, so thanks, because this is good stuff.
That's awesome.
Now, is there certain animals that you are and aren't allowed to hunt?
So for religious purposes, we are not allowed to kill anything we can't eat, but there's an agreement when it comes to protecting the country with conservation, then it is permissible. So when I shoot the foxes and wildcats and, all those feral species, I'm doing it to protect the country and the animals that belong in this country. Mm-hmm. So that becomes a permitted act to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is why I pest control as well.
I have a question with this actually. So pork is obviously, or pig is obviously not permissible to eat. Is this because in the Bible, I can't quite remember exactly verbatim what it says, but a demon was cast out into swine, so pig. Is that the same? Is that the reason why you're not allowed to eat it?
Yeah, and they're genetically very similar to humans, which can cause us as humans, when we consume it, can cause quite a few diseases in us. But that was back in hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
This day and age, there's different technologies, different ways to clean meat. So, I don't know if religion was brought up today, must have been maybe a different answer to it. I can't really speak on behalf of scholars, but they've introduced medicine into, you know, cleaning meat and things like that. So I wouldn't know. But, back then the rules were do not eat pork, which is for health reason. And that's when it became, you know, completely haram. That means not permitted to eat. So, that's the reason.
Is pork the only thing that's sort of not permitted to eat?
No, there's also any animal that consumes anything that's like dead or consumes rubbish.
Okay.
We
So
cannot
scavengers
eat.
sort of,
Scavengers, or like birds that have a hook beak. Also that are scavengers, we cannot eat.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I don't think I'd want to eat an eagle. Those things are majestic.
It's too chewy, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
I reckon you're right. All right, next question, Kadz. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
I'm a very careful person. I do take a lot of risks, like with whatever I'm doing. Sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm just going to push my boundaries, but I can't specifically say one thing.
Yep.
But I'll try to think of something. I've got a fear of heights.
Like most of us.
Constant that fear. So I've gone to the Harbour Bridge. I've, you know, gone into a helicopter, and I made sure that it was like clear for, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I went through it. Once I was hiking and I got really close to the cliff, and my one of my legs slipped. And ever since then, I would not allow myself to go to the cliffside. Like, I'm about 3 meters away from the edge.
Yeah.
I would not go. But I think this is the most scariest time of my life. Yeah, but I haven't had anything. Oh, and giving birth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh, dear. And how many times have you done that? How many kids have you got?
4. Yeah.
4 bundles of joy. Which is scarier, the cliff or giving birth?
Cool. No, I'm joking.
Oh dear. So with that, with your hunting and your hiking and things like that, have you done any hunting outside of Australia, maybe Lebanon?
In Lebanon, I was like holding the air rifle around my grandfather's house, you know, shooting all the blood-sucking bats.
Yeah.
Doing your part for COVID.
Fly at you. They'll try to come and attack you. It's like crazy. So I would sit there, you know, waiting for them, and I'll bang, bang, bang. But I've been to New Zealand. Yeah, to the north side. It's very tropical. It's beautiful there. But that's about it. I try to stick to Australia because me as a hunter, I do it mostly for conservation and for the meat. It's not more for, like, you know,
Trophy.
the sport, you know, like, and like I do bring back a trophy, and that trophy is something that I have like most of the times consumed, and I've got a story behind it. It's mostly for the story and to keep a memory, and also like to, you know, be grateful to the animal as well.
Yeah, respect it. Yep. Yeah, I get you.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
All right, Kadz, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, be yourself. Don't be ashamed of who you are, and then you'll shine.
Yeah.
That's solid advice. And I think a lot of people these days are trying to fit in somewhere or be someone who they're not, or portray an image. I mean, even just on Instagram, all the filters and, you know, people are trying to look a certain way and feel like they conform to what, you know, the public perception of what beauty is, or, you know, it's hard. And, you know, I'm a dad of 2 girls, and it does scare me a bit when they get a bit older. They're only 6 now, but when they come into their teenage years, you're sort of like, wow, see how crazy it is now? I can only imagine what it's like in another 10 years.
All the injections and
There's definitely way too much encouragement to, not be yourself. That's for sure.
yes, exactly.
How do your children find it growing up now in comparison to how you had to grow up in schools and things?
Yep. So they're like any other kids in Australia. I've always told them, be who you want to be and you will succeed. Never, stoop to a level where you got to fit in. People who love you and appreciate you will always want you around them. So don't be another person than what you are. And I've always told them that don't let anyone control you. Follow the law, do the right thing, but be who you want to be. They come up to me. I've told them, you can be an open book with me. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets, and I'll never, ever judge you. I'll give you good advice, but don't ever feel scared that you can't come to me and speak to me. So, they've always respected me, never raised their voice towards me. I've been a single parent for nearly 10 years now. I'm so blessed with them. And they've actually, they've had school friends. They grew up with them. And just from them watching their school friends disrespecting their mothers or parents, they've actually removed themselves from their friendship. We don't want to be surrounded with people that disrespect their parents, and it's just not nice, and it's very uncomfortable to be around that kind of atmosphere. And I was like, oh my God, I did a good job. I've always told them, I'm your mum first and then your friend.
Yeah, that's some solid parenting advice.
Since they were little, I would go down to their level, speak to them at their level, never stood above them, made them feel that I was equal to them.
They listen.
And it's made them who they are now, and they're free to be, to explore and choose who they want to love and who they want to be with, and no judgment whether they want to marry a Muslim or not a Muslim. It's just, I want to see them happy and successful in life.
Yeah, outstanding. Yeah. That's very good. I think like if you were to, well, especially for a lot of people, if they put boundaries on their children, it's a hard no for a lot of things. They tend to like want to just poke the bear and push the boundary, and then they become something that you don't want them to be.
I think the hard no just as a kid means no around me. And they just go, when they're not around their parents, they'll do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So. That happened to a lot of kids.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm a bit, I can be strict, but I can be easy. So now my older kids are out of school, I can talk about it. But I've told them, if you ever wanted to, skip school, I'm there to help you. Like, make sure they had their friends' permission from their parents, like they can skip school. So I would go pick them up and take them to their destination. And I've told them, like, you can go and do whatever you want as long as I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to hear someone else. And that kept them, an open book with me. That was, I was very close to them, and I still am.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
It sounds like you've raised them the right way. So, yeah.
And kudos to you, obviously, single mother. That's a job in
easy.
itself, definitely. I do have, you mentioned something just before that you said to your kids, follow the law. This is something that I thought of, and obviously your political career, and this is going back into the firearms side of things. What do you think of the New South Wales firearms laws compared to the other states and things like that? Obviously, you're a landowner, so you have a reason to own a rifle, which I'm under the impression that if you want to get a rifle in New South Wales, you have to have that reason, You
don't really have to. So if you want to do it for, target shooting, that's allowed, even for hunting. And a lot of the trainers would recommend go get your restricted R license, because that would remove that question on there.
Okay, yep.
It makes it easier for people to access, their firearms license and access public land, which is a bonus on top of that. But, yeah, in New South Wales, you are allowed to get a firearms license whether you have a land or not.
Okay. That's a misconception that we have here. Definitely, we've been told by other people that you have to have basically written permission from a landowner to get your rifle for hunting, apart from sporting shooting, which obviously is a reason to get your license as well. But good point. You may as well just go get your R license and
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes things easier.
I love hunting in state forests. It's a completely different way of hunting.
Do you have any memorable hunts on state land?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Man, I took my uncle, because he was like a new hunter, and we were like looking for deer, fallow deer. And I don't know, he had such good luck, but it didn't work out at the end. A fallow doe just appeared, and then a kangaroo just sat right in front of it.
They generally find a way to ruin a hunt, a kangaroo.
I kid you not, for about 10 minutes, we're just sitting there waiting for it. And you know when it moved? When the deer moved. They moved together. We tried going after it, but no success. They completely disappeared into the pine forest, like really thick pine forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It became a ghost. Even the kangaroo completely disappeared. But yeah, just seeing that. I even have a photo of it. It's just crazy.
A deer had a guardian angel for sure.
But there's some conservation. Get rid of some more roots. Bring more deer. Oh, actually, do you eat roo? Because they chew the cud, and they're not scavengers.
See, I've tried it a couple of times. I've tried slow cooking it, everything. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah,
my uncle
agreed.
Yeah, my uncle, I don't know how, but he likes it.
It's got to be the worst tasting meat on the planet.
I would eat it. If there was anything else, I would.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Kadz, let's change tact a bit. What is your most treasured possession?
Other than my kids, my property. Honestly, I worked so hard to achieve that, and buying, selling, a property until I had the right amount to buy it outright. Thank God, no mortgage. It took a long time, but I made my dream come true, and that was like the biggest success. And it's like, other than my kids, it's like the apple of my eye.
Yeah, cool. That's probably one of my favourite answers, to be honest, to that question.
It's probably something we all want, really. Is it just their own little parcel of land that they can do whatever on? And in your case, just build a shack and sort of be sort of self-sufficient in that.
Exactly. And if anything happens in the world, you're more than welcome to come and hide.
Might hold you up on that.
Yeah, the way the world's looking.
Just come over.
Nice one. All right, Kadz, next one. What's your favourite movie?
My favourite movie, Fast and the Furious.
Which one?
I'm a crazy fanatic. I love cars, and it's just I'm bad.
I mean, I love them.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I love them when they first came out. I must admit, though, probably the last three, they've stretched the believability a little bit.
Action in there, it's just, it is too much. But because I'm a big fan, I just want to watch everything that comes out. And I like staring at the cars. I don't know.
I feel like once you've watched the first 3 or 4, it's just a necessity to watch them. Regardless, like you're just like, I got to know what happens, because the storyline obviously continues quite well in it. It's just the far fetched things like flying tanks that get me.
It's the gearboxes that get me. There's definitely not 30 odd gears. Once you get past that,
emphasizing the whole thing. Crazy.
Hollywood spec.
yes.
But yeah, give me a skyline, sit staring at it like I'm staring at a deer. Just saying.
Oh, that brings a question. What is your favourite vehicle?
Oh, a full drive, 100%. Like any full drive that would like drive into anything that's muddy or water or thick brush. Like that's like the thrill of it. But then I do tend to go to the raceways and do some drifting, but not with the four-wheel drive.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So,
you
yeah.
four drive?
Crazy.
So you've done some drifting, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Like you've driven yourself.
My property, and then all my spotlights ripped off the car, and I was a bit crazy.
That's
You don't
awesome.
see that side of me, but
So you have a drift car or
no.
no?
One day I want to build up an old Datsun,
Yeah.
but one day in the future when I
Sweet.
slow down. Yeah,
Datsun out of everything.
Well, Datsun's pretty popular to do.
They are, because they're cheap.
Yeah.
yeah, and have a motor just popping out of the hood. And,
That's awesome.
Does sound awesome. All right, Kadz, recommend someone to be a guest on this podcast.
Ooh. All right. You've had Joshua, Cody Gearan. Have you had Cody?
Cody?
Cody? No.
Who? Cody who? No, we're quite familiar with Cody. We probably
He's
should have a chat to him one of these days. He's a good bloke. He's been a supporter of ours pretty much since the get-go. So
He's funny as well, which is good.
yeah.
I brought the whole family, like I've hung out with them, and they make me feel like I'm part of the family, and I love that.
Yeah.
They're really
Nice.
cool. Yeah.
He does feel a part of the Send It Mate family as well, actually, especially when he starts making memes about you. It's like,
Cartoon strips. I don't know if you've been on the receiving end of one of his cartoon strips yet, but
Well, now you will.
Yeah.
Get on it, Cody.
he'll hear this and he'll make one, I guarantee. Kadz, what was your first rifle?
My first was the 22 Magnum Savage.
Oh, yeah, put that in the bin. Sorry.
That's actually the
Not a
same,
fan
same caliber as my first gun as well. So
Really?
yeah,
It's
and
a good rifle.
I'm looking at getting rid of it and getting a 22. But
Yeah. I love it. Like I still use it, and I look at it and I'm like, that's my, another, accomplishment that was for me, especially coming from, my background and heritage. I went through a lot to get to where I am, a lot of threats, a lot of like, how dare you, you're, a Muslim woman, you can't really put yourself out there. And to get that rifle, that was like my pride. I broke a lot of, boundaries, and I did what I wanted to do. And that was like another thing that I accomplished other than my divorce. Yeah.
oh, that sort of stems into a question that I've got from one of the listeners.
Okay.
So Mo Tears Left to Cry. He wants to ask you, what inspired you to become public about hunting despite the negativity hunting?
I wanted females who didn't have a voice to actually get up, and it wasn't necessarily about shooting, but it's about getting up and doing what you love and not being ashamed of doing it.
Yep.
And I wanted to give a voice to the women that come from my background as well. You can get up, you can stand up on your feet and become independent. And I'm not saying that not having a man in your life is like, woohoo. No, it's a beautiful thing to have a partner in your life. But if you don't have that, or you went through a hard time during your life, whether it's domestic violence or something that put you in a position where you couldn't have a voice, just get up, push them boundaries, break the cycle, and be who you want to be. And I did it. And watch me do it, and I'm going to continue doing it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's very good. We need more women like you, actually.
Well, anyone, doesn't have to be a woman, but yeah.
We've stated this on the podcast. Women are more likely to be vocal in public, and it's obviously a unique situation that you're in. You're Muslim and you're a shooter, and really that shouldn't matter, but unfortunately it does. And so we need more women to speak out, and especially about just breaking out of chains and moving on with their life and things like that. That needs to happen more and more,
Normal,
not less.
I mean, it is something you raised a couple of episodes ago, Josh, was the fact that when women are passionate about something, they are more vocal. They are better communicators as a general rule than blokes. Blokes just try and fly under the radar and, I like doing this, but, try not to make any waves. Whereas, I mean, certainly something we've noticed is if there's a woman who's passionate about something, she'll speak her mind. And we definitely need to get more to women into shooting and hunting for sure.
That's why I created my SSAA lady shooting program.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, speak about that.
And I've had over 300 women attend, and they were posh women who have never held a rifle before. And a lot of them do come from a background where there is firearms, from in the family, but the majority were non-shooters or any kind of background in that aspect. And I wanted to open up an avenue for women to come and, mingle with other women, have a voice, ask questions. If you're against firearms, you're more than welcome to come and, give it a go. I've had one woman that attended also that was a nurse, and she was completely against firearms. So myself and the other firearms, the rangers there, we sat down, we had a little debate, and we got her to understand that it's not the firearm, it's you who is in control. If you want to damage, you're the beholder, you're the one who's going to cause damage, not the actual tool. I call a firearm a tool. I don't call it a weapon or anything like that. Because anything can turn into a weapon. It's not necessarily only a firearm, It's the beholder, the person who's in control that can cause damage. Once that, was explained to her, her mind started opening up into, wanting to try it. So we took her out to the, the shooting range. She took her first few shots and she was like, oh.
The power.
You're shooting. And I was like, yay. You did it. That was huge.
I think that was mentioned in one of the first few seasons. I think Josh, you mentioned it, that everyone loves shooting, but some people just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, it's another, how do I say it? Let's call shooting targets a sport.
Yeah.
It is a sport. There's a lot of, Olympians that shoot, a lot of clubs that do those little, club shoots, and they make a game out of it. It's so much fun, and it doesn't have to be all that horror and gore. And if you don't want to hunt, you don't have to, It's not about killing anything. It's about enjoying that, that tool that we're able to use, and, making sure that we're doing the right thing in order to keep using it.
It's an incredibly difficult skill to master as well. Shooting is. To become highly proficient takes years and years and years of repetition and study and keeping up with current technology in the shooting industry and progressing, which makes it complex, builds a community that people can enjoy. So I think all our listeners agree it's not just about hunting. If you don't like hunting, cool, don't hunt, but you can still shoot.
Yes.
And most of the time, actually, out of the friends that we know, there have been more injuries with ball sports than there has in our shooting group. And you're like, okay, it's safe too. Touch wood.
Yeah.
Did you hear about women being a steadier shot?
I didn't hear about it, but
It doesn't. I've heard that women are easier to teach, and I've seen examples of being a better shot earlier, for sure.
I'm not saying all women are, but we take our time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't rush into things, and we regulate our breathing as well. We become in tune with whatever we're holding, and we don't shake as much when we're ready to shoot, which is good.
Yeah.
We have control.
I feel a shoot off actually happening. We're all taking a trip to New South Wales. We'll have a shoot off.
I didn't know that until I watched the women while I was a range officer at my programs. First time shooters, shooting into the same hole over and over again, not missing, the same target that they shot at was outstanding. I've never seen anything like that. And that's when I was like, that's true. Women are good shots, but it's not about the skill with women. It's about how we control, as I said, with the breathing and, being one with what we're using and just, being calm and relaxed, and we have that control over ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that ladies shooting program, that's been around since 2018, is that right? Beautiful. Is there anything coming up of note, and how can people get involved if they want to?
Yes, there's a program. Let me just get the details. It's with SSAA in New South Wales. I can't really give exact details as yet, but it's open for all, for men and women.
Yep.
And that will be around like early October.
Yep.
And that's to bring people into the shooting sport in Coffs Harbour that haven't shot before, because there's not many there.
Yep.
So I'm trying to spread the word, not only in Sydney, but across New South Wales. And also my program has been adopted interstate as well. And they've used the same tactics, which is awesome. Like with my programs, I bring in food and coffee trucks and prizes, and my sponsors help with the prizes, which is awesome. I've also, on the 2nd year anniversary, I made medals for the women that have attended every program and have become licensed shooters as well. So I gifted them with medals, which was awesome.
Nice.
And also free hunts as well, which was good, that were donated. Yeah. So not only did I help them become shooters, I also helped them become hunters.
Mm-hmm. What's the retention rate with the people coming back from the course?
So I've had the same people attend every program I've had. So around 4 women out of the whole thing that have, come up, and 2 women out of those 4 have become volunteer range officers to help me in the program as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Which is amazing.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, nice.
Which is so, her first day shooting ever, she had an anxiety attack. She's never held a rifle. She was crying in fear. We calmed her down, told her, you don't have to shoot, just come and have a sit down, watch the women shoot. At the end of the program, she's like, I'm ready. And she took a shot and she was like, oh my God, is that it?
That's outstanding.
And after that, she's been hunting with her husband and, doing the whole 9 yards, and she's awesome.
Do you have any other examples? Like obviously she triumphs sort of her fear of firearms. Yeah. Is there any other examples where hunting or shooting alone has changed someone's life? Or
I'm not sure. I don't know who's hunted alone as a female, but I do hunt alone. I've hunted a lot. Most of my hunts are solo. I've been in places where I had to carry out an animal where I've hiked up like and I'm like, how the hell am I going to go back down? I've had panic attacks, honestly, during those moments. I'm a small, tiny woman. I barely weigh 52 kilos, and to carry all that meat going steep down. Yeah. And on one occasion, I actually started sliding and I had cuts on my legs, But by the time I reached to the bottom, I was like, oh, I didn't die.
Now I got to do it all over again. Back up, back down.
And then I knew what to do after that, like put my heel down onto the edges, make sure I'm holding myself, distributing the meat on me, making sure it's not pulling me backwards or doing anything silly like that. So I made sure like the meat was distributed correctly and I held myself correctly. But yeah, like I know a few men that do go solo hunting, but women I haven't really, you know.
It's a big thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of very many women solo hunt.
It gives me more of an opportunity to hunt something because you're quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
there's no one else in the background creating more footsteps and more vibrations in the ground where animals can sense it from far. I tend to like to do it solo most of the times.
Kadz, you mentioned earlier going out fishing with your father and him teaching you some of the principles of hunting.
Yeah.
When did you actually go hunting for the first time and get into it?
Oh, I had my 4 kids and I was divorced, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to pursue this. And because when I was younger on the farm, like I would shoot with the air rifle, you know, getting rid of the pests that would keep coming at the vegetables, you know, trying to get everything. But I never like went hunting. But I had that hunger for it. And once I became, you know, stable in life, I had my house, everything was going perfect. I was like, you know what, that's it. You know, back in that time, I had a second partner. I had been divorced for about 2 years, and then I met him, and he actually brought back the idea of hunting in my life. You know, he wanted to hunt. He's never hunted before. And I was like, okay, I support you on this. Let's do this. So we did that. I was with him for about 1.5 years or so, but I never hunted by myself or did anything, you know, like that. So after I separated, took about 6 months or so, and I headed out by myself, and that was state forest. And that trip, I would never forget it. And I have a little footage on my Instagram and Facebook page of that. Would be one of my scariest moments of my life. I was stalking a deer. You know, the hoof prints, you know, I haven't physically seen the deer, but they were really fresh and the droppings were like really warm. So I'm like following everything, and I thought, I'm too close. I'm going to sit down, have a snack. I'm opening up the packet of Oreos. And I have my camera in my hand, you know, filming, you know, trying to film the adventure. And all of a sudden I hear a gunshot. And I was something like that. Right. Yeah, it's on film.
Yo.
But before that, I heard a car drive in, you know. That happened right after. And then guys were like trying to pack everything and leave, and they were poachers. So I speak a lot about poachers, and that day really put, you know, a fear in me, like, what the hell is going on? Like, you know, there's a lot of, I don't call them hunters, I call them thieves. And they're ruining it for us, you know, like, come on, guys. Don't go doing something silly. You're going to lose the opportunity to keep doing what you love. And make it harder on us in the political side of things, where we're sitting here fighting for you, but then again, you're doing the wrong thing and ruining it. You might cause some harm for anyone else, and then we're going to lose the ability to ever hold a firearm again, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed to speak about it openly, because this needs to be fixed.
It does.
You know, and like, to be in that position where that happened to me in public land, you know, I'm wearing the blaze orange, I'm doing all the right things, and then all of a sudden, after my heart stalk, making sure like I'm near the animal, giving it space, because it was very thick bush, and then that happens, you steal the animal from me, really causing harm. That was like an eye opener, and that made me understand the full aspect of why we need to make sure that the surroundings are clear before we shoot, making sure there's nothing around there, you know, causing harm to anyone. I've had so many opportunities to shoot an animal, and then all of a sudden something appears and I'm like, thank God I took my time. It's silly if we're trigger happy, and we're not trigger happy kind of people. You can be when you're shooting clays. That's exciting because I love doing that. But other than that, there's no reason to be, you know.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree. It's getting better from when I was a child. The whole cowboy attitude in the hunting community was terrible. It's getting better, but it needs to stop because you are 100% correct. It's ruining it for everyone else out there. It's got to stop. And, yeah, I don't know how to stop it because at the end of the day, a lot of it is youth or young adults, hunting with their mates for the first time or whatever, or they're pushing the boundaries.
I know another way, making properties more accessible, and that would reduce poaching or, becoming a thief. Bringing the government should, bring more opportunities for people, who want to hunt. Don't make it a taboo. Don't make it like, oh my goodness, what's happening? This has been part of history since the beginning of time. Nothing wrong with that. Each to their own. If a person wants to eat vegetables, good on you. This is your own belief. Do it. If you want to eat meat, exactly the same thing. Don't sit there saying, oh, no, hunting, you can't do that. Let's make it harder on them. Let's close, public land. Let's, or make it like, a limit on people to access public land per day. The forest is huge. You can divide the forest and say, okay, that amount of people in this section, this amount of people in this, miles away where the shot is not going to reach. You know what I mean? Make more land accessible, and I reckon poaching will cut down. Also education in schools, teaching kids at a younger age, with firearm safety and where you can shoot and what you can shoot, or if you want to hunt or just target shoot or go to the Olympics, Make it exciting. Don't make it something that we're scared of, or something where it becomes like people have to access firearms illegally to have that thrill of it. That scares me because people like that want the thrill of it, they're the ones that want to cause harm.
Yeah, they shouldn't have a firearm in the first place.
Always the law for that because they're actually creating that. They're the creators of those, the gangs and the, making it harder on people to do the wrong, making it to not do the right thing and becoming, a bad person and going on the wrong path. Because we're all not bad people from when we started. It's what we're made to choose at the end of the path that defines who we are as a person.
I agree 100%. Now, you touched on the political side of things. How did you first get involved with the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party?
So coming from a farming background, I've always been passionate about it. I am pro-building, but I'm also against it because a lot of our produce in Australia is dying and we're sourcing out from international countries, which is so unfair. We've got so much land, but the rates are going so high where farmers can't afford it anymore. And that was the reason for me to become a member of the Shooters Fishers, because one of their titles is farmers. And that got me into that political party before shooting because of the farming side of things. But once I started learning more, I was like, oh, I'm a shooter. That it's a bonus on top of everything. And the fishing side of it. So it was all relatable to my lifestyle, to how I grew up, and it felt like home. Like I wanted to support that. And when I became a political candidate, people judged me for that as well. But I stood my grounds and I said, listen here, this political party, you're saying, oh, they're racist. How can you stand for someone that was racist against your kind of people? I'm like, no, they're not. They're against the bad people, not me as a person.
Yeah.
It's not my religion. They're against the people who are doing the wrong thing. And I support that. I don't sit here supporting every Muslim that's out there or every Christian that's out there. I support the good people. And I'm trying to also bring help to the people that are not doing the right thing, you know? Like, for example, during a campaign, during the voting, you know, when people were coming through to vote, one guy comes up to me, tells me, "Are you pro-building?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay, I'm not voting for you then." I'm like, "It's your choice." Then another, I won't name the party, but another political candidate comes up to me. She heard it. She's like, "Why didn't you just say you are to get his vote?"
Oh.
I'm a very honest person. I'm going to be straightforward with what I believe in and what the people need in this council district. I'm here to help them. I'm not here to be against them, and I'm going to be honest with every word I say. If they want me on, I'll come first. But if not, by all means, like, I'll try again, and I'll keep, you know, saying what I could help with and whatnot. But I came third, which was awesome.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, the first in history for a Muslim, you know, hijabi to represent the Camden, you know, local government. That was the first history, yeah.
Well done. That's
third,
outstanding.
that was wow. And the commission, someone from the commissioner's office actually called me, which they don't usually do, and congratulated me. And they were all in shock because they thought I was going to be on the bottom of the list. Yeah.
Will you run again?
Yes.
You will?
Yes, because I'm all about helping people and making a difference. And I really want to show people that I'm a diehard Aussie like every other person. And, you know, the scarf does not define me as, you know, oh, you can't do this, or you can't go dancing, or you can't, you know, I'm not like that. People have taken photos of me in my car or videos of me dancing in the car, you know, I'm driving and I'm not that kind of strict person.
Yeah.
So I tried my best to show people that I am easygoing, I'm fun to be around with. I don't have to drink alcohol to be crazy. I'm crazy with no you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm the party animal when I'm around people. Yeah.
Is there something, like being a part of the government, is there something that you'd like to change if you could?
Yeah, so I know they talk about making everybody feel like they're equal with one another, or, you know, no race is different than the other race, but I did feel different.
Yeah.
And I hope I could make a difference with that and open up the doors to a lot of other cultures, not necessarily Middle Eastern or Muslim, just any other culture, to have that, to be brave and get up and make a difference, you know. You know, I had death threats during the campaign. I had people come at me and spit at me while I was campaigning in the streets. Like, you're going to lose, you know, you're going to da-da-da-da. And I kept a smile on my face and I never gave up. And that was one of my ways to show that no one can, you know, stop me from doing what I want to do and making a difference. And hopefully, I don't know how to say it, but I don't think it's the government, but it's more media.
Yeah.
It's the media that makes it hard on a lot of candidates as well, because we're always, you know, careful with what we say when we're interviewed by journalists, when we're in that campaign mode. And I felt really out of place in some, you know, moments when they were asking me questions like that were more personal, and it has nothing to do with politics, you know, like about my scarf, about things like that. I'm like, that doesn't make me who I am.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even be considered like in this. Like,
Yeah.
who cares what you look like or what you're wearing?
I told them that being modest, it's not about what you look like. It's inside you and how you treat people and how much you love God. And loving God is showing how you treat people and how you have self-respect. And this is modesty and helping people.
Yeah.
That's what modesty means. Yeah.
How do you go? Because this is going to be hard to cut, like spit out. But I've seen how some Muslim males can be towards females, it's not really acceptable at all. How do you find in that side of the community, how do you go with that?
I agree with you 100%. So what happens is when religion clashes with traditional culture, it's a bad story.
Yeah.
So with religion, if you look into it, every right is towards the women. We have more rights than the man in my religion. But when it's culture and cultural traditions, that's when he overtakes and gives the man more power over the women. So the religion is now disregarded, completely disregarded, and they're following the tradition. That's where the religion is lost. So if they completely followed the religion correctly, me as a female, what I'm doing right now is no way a sin. I have every right to speak up and become a businesswoman, to become an independent woman. These were all rights that were given to me in my religion. So women in my culture are standing up now. They're reading more books and understanding their rights. There's a lot of us that are divorced because of that, which is good on them. And it's a shame where, come on, guys, you were brought up, you have a mother, you have a sister. Would you like your mum and sister to be treated that way? No. Yeah. Treat other, women with respect the way you're going to treat your mother. They don't do that.
I've always said that it's hard to be a gentleman, and that's why it's not common anymore. And that's a simple fact. Guys just take the easy road out and they'll lord over someone. That's unfortunately in our wicked nature.
It can be vice versa. I've witnessed women attacking their partners and I'm like, whoa, oh God, take me away. But yeah, it happens both ways, which is a shame, Even in my culture, there's a lot of women, it's not spoken of. It's always been. There's a lot of tough women in my culture and I'm scared of them. And their husbands are the quiet ones, they're the ones who are cooking and cleaning and doing everything, and the woman is the man in the house. But they're the ones with successful marriages.
Did you hear that, men? You start cooking for your women.
It's crazy.
Is it successful or he just doesn't say anything about it?
No, it's like anything. There's a balance. There's a balance that works. So,
Yeah, there is.
Definitely. I commend you what you're doing, and I can't imagine it would be by any means easy. And I don't know how you kept going for so long. It is definitely commendable.
Ambition.
Yeah, but when all the odds, and I'm sorry to say, are against you, and you're just fighting them off and keep going, you're definitely a strong woman. I spent some time in the Middle East and I got to see how women were treated from the cultural point of view. It's not nice, period. No.
It's really sad. Like I've witnessed when I was in Lebanon, like with divorce situations, the woman has no rights over her kids anymore and the man keeps the children. Sometimes she can't even see her kids anymore, which is heartbreaking. I'm lucky I live in Australia. I'm lucky I have those rights to have a voice, to actually be around my kids, where in Lebanon I wouldn't have that opportunity.
With you were saying before, there's different sects. Wow. Of sect. Sorry. Caleb, you got some editing to do, bro.
Keep that one in.
Sect of the Muslim.
People.
I want to start again.
So there's different areas of the Muslim community. So like you were talking before about Christianity, we've got like Catholics and
different
Protestants
denominations.
Different denominations. Yeah. Do you have a bill of divorce in Lebanon?
Yeah, so a female has every right to divorce her husband with real reasons. It can't be for no reason or a silly situation where it can you can have mediation where it would fix a marriage, but when it's a legit reason, she has every right to break her marriage.
Oh, that's good.
Is that sort of equal on both sides? The reasons?
Yes, it is. It is. But the female, I believe, can fight for her marriage more. Like she has a say over it more than the man in a way. It depends on. Also, it depends on what village you're from as well. See, Lebanon is a whole, right? But then there's different traditions in different village. And sometimes in that same village, there's north and south. And the rules can be north and south.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of differences in Lebanon. It's not all the same. Depends on where you're from. Yeah. Even our dialect changes as well. The accent, everything changes.
Right.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot tonight. This is good.
We are.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Very good. Have we got another listener question, Couchy?
Well, you mentioned Cody before. He sent us in a question.
Oh, God.
He sent us in a couple, actually.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'll read both of his out. So the first one is from Cody Gearan for the listeners. How important is hunting and family to you?
It's very important. I reckon, and I believe, if you're a hunter, bring your family out with you. You know, get your children involved. If you don't have children, your partner. If it's not your partner, your siblings. If not your siblings, your best mates. Because I believe friends are family. So it brings you closer. The actual adventure and what you go through, the process, whether, you're building a campfire, building up the tents, cooking up a feast, going on that hike, it just brings you together.
Yeah.
You create stories and memories, and those memories are a lifetime. They would never go away.
Yeah, I think we'd all agree that hunting is definitely a social experience, and it brings people that are unlikely to meet. And like we've gained friends through hunting that I guess without that we wouldn't have met before. So
Yeah.
I think one of the most important elements of certainly any outdoor pursuit is overcoming some degree of adversity. So if it's camping, someone might leave the tent pegs at home and you've got to find a solution, or it might be the rain, or you don't have a sleeping bag, and in hunting, it might be the terrain. You've got to, get up that hill carrying your meat. So I think that's what pulls people together is just, that shared experience of overcoming adversity, having fun, being outdoors, because that's the
Exactly.
best.
I always have spare pegs and stuff like that. I brought Cody's meat bags like during our hunts, and I'm very grateful for that because I would bring enough sometimes. So he'll always bring his, and I get to use his bags, which is awesome.
Don't laugh because my father. I took my father on a hunt once, and he left his sleeping bag at home, and it was in the Flinders Ranges, and it was like negative. And one of us slept without a sleeping bag.
Oh no! That would have been painful.
Oh yeah, not fun at all.
Was it you?
Yeah. I went in without the sleeping bag. Yeah.
Oh, that's noble. That's nice. Good on you.
He's been a good son.
That is awesome.
all right, so Cody had a second one, which was most enjoyable hunting experience.
When I was in New Zealand, and I've always wanted to, chase a ram.
Yeah.
And you say deer are ghosts. These rams, oh my God. Like the amount of hiking that we had to do, and to actually get one down, that was like one of my biggest accomplishments ever. And that whole trip in all was amazing because I got to take out my friend who's never shot a deer before, and I got to do the full, put the blood on her face, her first deer. Even the whole trip was amazing.
Yeah, nice.
There's a lot of details.
No, that's perfect, I reckon.
Was it a red deer for her?
Yeah, a red deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a spiker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like he was huge and she was so happy with him.
Still more of a red than I've got. So
Not like the stunning red that's next to you. We've seen the red stag on your wall there.
yes.
My baby.
All right, so we'll move on to another question. That's from Dylan Flyer 92. What is her most commonly asked question she gets?
What's Kad's most common?
Yeah, what is your commonly most asked
You
question?
can paraphrase, can't you?
Yeah. So, it's mostly about me as a scarfed hunter, a Muslim female hunter. I get questions like, "Oh, are you allowed to? Is it forbidden for a woman to hunt?" That's the most common question I've always get. At least once every fortnight, I get that, especially in the inboxes. I've got hundreds in there. And now I've got this automated response thing on my Facebook page because I run through a lot on my Facebook page. It's my official. It's the verified page.
Yep.
And I've had to resort to a automated message system because it's always the same question.
Yeah.
Are you permitted to hunt? You're a Muslim woman. I'm like, yes, that's fine. I can. Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's sharing sort of what's sort of available as a Muslim woman for other people as well. So it's good.
I wonder how many Muslim women out there actually don't think they're allowed to. Is that?
I'm not sure because I've heard of a lot of the guys that hunt here in Sydney. Their wives actually attend their hunts with them, and I have come to that knowledge after doing the ladies shooting program. Other females contacting me. They're like, "Oh, we've shot before with our husbands. Oh, that's awesome. You're actually doing it publicly. That gives us, the ability or the freedom to speak up about it and say, oh, we should as well." Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, nice.
Very good.
Next question is from Veteran Hunts Australia. Goat or venison?
Goat.
Goat.
Really? No way. No.
No. I love my goat. I'm sorry.
All right, here's one. Goat or lamb?
Yeah, that'd be.
Lamb.
Yeah.
You can't beat lamb's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Lamb is like the top.
It is.
Oh, lamb is nice.
All right, so out of your choice of deer species, what species of venison do you like best?
Oh, my favorite that I've ever tried, eaten, Samba.
Samba.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, it's got this different flavor and the second one is fallow.
Mhm.
I love fallow, but Samba has this, I don't know, this flavor in it which differs from the other species.
It does.
It's amazing, especially when you cook it with the dishes that I cook, which are mostly Lebanese kind of dishes. When I slow cooked the Samba and then I slow cooked the red or the fallow, it was completely different.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, might have to try slow cooking Samba
So,
actually.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. I could see the enthusiasm there.
You might have to send through a recipe to us actually.
Yeah.
Give it a crack.
Probably wouldn't make it the same, but
Then we'll send you a photo of what our representation of it is.
yeah, that won't be close.
You know what you need to try? Try to source out pomegranate molasses.
No idea what that is.
Something molasses? or-
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate,
molasses.
yeah.
Oh.
Molasses, which is used mostly in our Lebanese dishes, and it is the best. Even if you saute onions and meat diced, just like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of pomegranate molasses in there is amazing.
Ah.
That's like my go-to.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Tip of the day.
Like-
Josh is writing it down feverishly.
This is one note.
Like if I'm hunting, like straight fresh meat, especially off either tenderloins or the backstrap,
Yep.
that's the most meat that doesn't have much blood in it. Eat it straight away. I dice it really small. I brown the meat, after I've seasoned it with salt and pepper. And then I slice a lot of onions. I throw the onions in there, saute it. Then the pomegranate molasses in there. Also cook it for a few minutes. Take it off. Have some Lebanese bread, wedges of lemon, squeeze it all over and just go for it. It's so good.
It's making me hungry.
That sounds amazing.
Sounds delicious.
Maybe we will go shooting in New South Wales. I'm come
Bring
visit.
you guys.
Sounds like a good trip.
Yeah, that sounds really good, actually.
So good.
All right, next one is from Line Glow. There's a lot of negative opinions on hunting and guns in Australia. How can we best educate others?
As I said earlier, starting at a young age, especially trying to try to get schools to implement that education, or have open days, even at the range. I'd love to do that later on. Have an open day where it's open to the public. You don't have to shoot. Just come in, speak to people, grab a pamphlet. It doesn't have to be we're going to a shooting event or an expo where it's confronting to people that have never been around firearms or shooting. So try to hide all that and just be there as a social network where you can, access information. Even if you're completely against it and you're an anti-gun person, I really, really try to please beg you, come, grab some information, speak to someone that's doing the right thing, because they'll, tell you the right thing. They're not going to mislead you into believing that we're trigger happy kind of people. And we need to, educate people in that aspect, especially at a young age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Good answer.
Thank you.
It's from Awesome Sugar.
Okay.
Mother or huntress, which is more challenging?
Mother.
Yeah.
I could imagine
must
before.
Find a lot of meaning into it.
Yeah.
If you're a hunter, that also defines it, because a mother will seek out food to feed her children. A mother can be a doctor to heal her children. A mother can be a teacher to teach her children. A mother can, as I said, a hunter or a fisherwoman, or the handy person that is fixing everything. That defines a mother, because once you have children, you're obligated to do all that you can to protect your family, and that includes feeding them. Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Nice one.
Your favourite place to hunt is asked by Amon.
Okay. Ooh, that's a. I know this person. I don't know him personally, but he's a big, big international hunter.
Okay.
So my favorite place would be a state forest, which I won't name.
Just like a good old fishing
it's
spot.
typical,
Let's
yes.
not name names.
Well played.
That forest took me about 2 years to study, and I actually went in. I had a rifle, but I had no intent to shoot. I wanted to study, and I know the whole forest by heart.
Yeah.
The in and outs of it, everything, what track I can drive into, where I could walk, where I could source water if anything happens to me, where I could forage if I get stuck. So I studied the whole forest, and most of the time I was solo.
Okay. It's always more enjoyable to hunt in a spot that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
And that you sort of know the lie of the land.
Month or so. So it wasn't continuous, but yeah, every second month I was there for about 2 days every time. And I was full studying.
Yep.
A lot of time to put into it.
It is impressive.
Yeah. I'm in love with that forest. I won't name it.
No, don't. But
What's it near?
Privately.
it's in New South Wales somewhere.
That's okay. Right.
Somewhere.
All right, and we've saved the last question.
Okay.
This is from Bin Assaad. Who are you inspired by? Very good question.
Yeah.
Your children?
They inspire me, because I never got to do what they're doing now. And the more I watch them succeed in what they love to do, I'm more inspired to keep going and to pursue what I'm after and what I need to do in order to help people as well. Yeah, they're my inspiration.
I'm sure they're going to enjoy hearing that. Thanks, Mum.
You'll have to get them
brownie
on and
points. They'll be cooking for you this week.
I do. I've taught them well.
Perfect.
Oh, they're the cooks. Even my son cooks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I've written them a cookbook. I've written all my recipes in there for them. And I am halfway through a cookbook, so I might take another year to complete it, but that will be published, hopefully.
Oh,
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know because I'd definitely be keen on that.
You said another cookbook. So how many cookbooks do you have?
No, that one is my family kind of recipes.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
I kept for my kids, but I'm going to make one for the public where
okay.
I'll have recipes and extras in there, that I've created.
Nice. I'll have to get on that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Something we haven't really talked about too much is fishing and your love of fishing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Anytime you see a picture of me fishing, something shit happened in my life. It's like my therapy.
Yeah.
It is my therapy. I love it, whether I catch a fish or not. And a lot of people tell me, oh, you didn't catch anything, or that was small. I'm like, I don't care. You know, I'm here to, cast a line and just sit there and stare and, calculate what's going to happen next. What's happening.
I agree with you 100%. And I've brought this up on the podcast in previous episodes because that's something I do as well. Even if, and in South Australia, if you're land-based fishing, it is terrible. And quite often you don't catch anything. So
Nothing worthwhile anyway.
no, nothing worthwhile. So I quite often are just sitting there staring at the waves and reeling in my line.
Just, casting, and it's awesome. I love it.
What's your favourite fish to catch?
My favorite, whiting.
Whiting.
And it's my favorite one to eat other than snapper. But yeah, whiting, because it's not as fishy and strong flavored as other fish species, but it's so flaky and soft and delicious.
Yeah, whiting's amazing. Yeah.
They fight well. They're really good. They're good at it. They really do fight. I love it. You're on the beach and you're walking into the waves and you're like, come here, you've got double. It's so much fun.
Yeah, nice. Now, Kadz, the question we ask all our guests is there a dream hunt and species somewhere in the world that you'd like to achieve?
I don't know. I'm not like that big, but the challenge behind it would be really good. A tar.
Yeah.
Because you're actually challenging your own self. You're not competing with anyone else. You're like, I watch videos of other people hunting tar, and you can see the determination on their face. They're debating with themselves while hiking and trying to get to that other section where it's all rocks and it's just impossible sometimes. But you tend to push yourself, and I want to feel that. Yeah.
I feel like you would have felt some of that solo hunting, to be honest. Because it'd be quite daunting, I have no doubt.
It would be. But to experience it like at least once in your life, like that would be good. And it's not far from Australia, and I consider New Zealand like home as well.
They're close enough to home to be part of Australia, really.
When you're there, you don't feel like you're an outsider. Like all the shops are similar, everything's, they're dinkum. It's so good. It's really good.
Right-hand drive cars, left side of the road. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But I love it there because you're more free to express yourself as a hunter. You're not afraid to say, oh, I'm a hunter, or you can't, hide putting anything on the bonnet or on top of your car. You can actually strap it on and just, drive off with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely a bigger hunting community over there. Or maybe it's just because it's smaller and more congregated, but yeah.
I feel like culturally it's just a bit more accepted, like as part of their culture.
Yeah.
There's less people, obviously, but yeah.
It would be the same. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully. We'll keep pushing for it anyway. And with people like yourself, I guess, advocating for hunting out in the community and showing it in a good light and being a good example, then I guess
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're on the right path. So keep doing what you're doing, and massive props to you for what you've been up to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been a good chat as well. Now, we should ask, how can people find you online, your Facebook and Instagram and all those good things?
Yep. So all you need to do is go on Google, put at Kadz.huntress, and you'll find everything that would lead you to me.
Perfect.
So I've linked everything to Kadz.huntress with the at the front. But yeah, all you need to do and you'll find me.
Awesome.
Excellent. We'll keep it all the same. That makes it easier for people. You boys got any other questions for Kadz?
Don't forget to vote for her next election. Yeah, definitely.
I've got a bit of a question because it was a quick Google, and did you design versions of like the hijab or the headwear?
Oh, so like I freely express myself with my scarf.
Yep.
And I do get a lot of backlash from it, but in summer I put it into like the African roll.
Yep.
Where I'm wearing my hip rings and I'm because it's too hot, especially in Australia.
Yeah.
But then in winter, hey, wrap me as much as you want. But yeah, no, it depends on the events I go to as well. So I try to style it with whatever I'm wearing as well.
Yep.
So it's not really necessarily got to do with anything with religion. It's just me. I love styling, and I've coming from the styling background and the hairdressing and all that. I love fashion. Fashion is my life. You should see my walk-in. I'm like crazy fanatic with fashion.
It seems like you have a lot of passions.
Yeah, like my mum, she was a designer and a seamstress, and we would go to the fashion catwalks and all that with her, and she would always sew us like, the high-end things that were out there, and I've always been into fashion. I'm wearing Fendi right now, so. But yeah, I love my fashion.
How does that translate into hunting clothing, though? Because that can be a difficult one to be fashionable with.
I still like to look good when I'm out hunting, so I make sure, like, I've got my mascara on. That's like my go-to. But I don't put foundation or anything like that. I just love my mascara.
Yep.
Yeah. Make sure the scarf matches and the socks match. And
the socks. No one's going to see them. Just go odd.
Yeah, but what if a bull ant bites my feet and I got to take off my shoe? Then what?
I guess it got caught on camera.
Every time I need an EpiPen soon.
No, it's look good, feel good.
Yeah.
And
Well, looking good's half the battle, isn't it?
I love expressing myself with fashion as well. Yeah.
excellent.
It's good fun.
You're talking to a lot of the three most unfashionable people.
You could probably teach us a few things about fashion. Kadz.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh dear. All right. Well, I think we've reached the time of the evening where we can probably wrap it up. And Kadz, we have to say a massive thank you to you for your time. It's been a great chat. We've learned a lot.
It's been inspirational, really. So,
Oh, sweet. Thank you for having me on.
No problems at all.
Our pleasure.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been really good. So, yeah, guys, get out there and find Kadz online and support her and what she's doing. Certainly if you're in the Camden area in New South Wales, then next time she's running, get out there and vote for her.
And go check out one of her shoots.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, Kadz, we've got to say a big thank you, and we'll definitely keep in touch, and thank you for being so inspirational.
Oh, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
No worries. All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Gotcha.
Catch you later.
See you then.
Bye.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.